What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Dangle Bet Selly, powered by FTN, right here on Game Plus Network. Also presented by PointsBet Canada. Chris Meaney and the Eric Young here hanging out with you on a Tuesday, a jam-packed schedule as per usual. EY, what's going on, man? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. Lots of action to talk about. Lots of hockey.
We don't have 13 games, but let's see what happens if we can get through this in an hour.
We'll try our luck.
I'll sit here all day talking hockey with you. You're the busy one. I'm basically unemployed. Let's go.
I do have a little something with Jake C a little bit later on. Of course, we have the Final Four in the NFL, the Eagles and the 49ers and the Bengals and the Chiefs, and we're going to touch on that with Jake Seeley. And also Mean Streets, all in football, and Mean Streets coming your way on Game Plus Network, part of the Anthem Sports and Entertainment family, and we are just thrilled to be part of the squad. We do have some people in the house already. Hammerhead Union in the house. How about the video from Hammerhead Union yesterday? The mock-up. EY of you and I just dancing off to the side, feeling pretty good. That was a fun little mock-up by Hammerhead Union last night. You see the tag on Twitter?
Which one?
On Hammerhead Union when they tagged us on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Dancing
Yeah, I shared
mock-up.
it.
That was pretty good.
Pretty funny. That stuff kind of freaks me out a little bit. You know, kind of freaks. It's almost like too good. But yeah, like good stuff by Hammerhead. The Hammerhead Union seems like a bunch of fun guys. A couple of the original boys in here. Diehard MMA podcast. Adam Rentcamp. We've got a cool squad, and we did this T-shirt thing, and me and you were going back and forth, and it's really cool, the support that we have for the show. I'm going to go broke printing T-shirts and sending them to everybody, but that's okay. But we do need people. Some people were posting it in my timeline. Look, guys, I can't scroll back 6 days. It would take me hours. You need to send the screen capture and what shirt is your favorite out of the four to my direct messages. And you said there was another way for them to do it as well, right?
Yeah, there is. So a lot of people have done it correctly for me. They've exactly what we said. We wanted to screenshot.
A lot for me too, but I don't want to miss the people that misunderstood.
Right.
Like,
EY is a huge deal, guys. He's got a big following. These tweets get lost, so we need to let's be honest with the situation. So yeah. we need it done properly. Here's the T-shirts again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 with the Selly writing, 2 with the 3 logos, 3 with the goalie mask, and 4 is DBC. So what we need, again, we will let this go a couple more days, and on Thursday we'll start to we'll have an idea of the shirt anyway. So what we need, again, one more time, is just you guys to send us your favorite of the 4, but we need you guys to show us that you have subscribed to this show, whether it's on iTunes, Spotify. iTunes would be number 1 for us. That would do us a huge solid. If you could do iTunes, 5 stars, rate, review, subscribe. Spotify, wherever it is, though, that you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if it's just subscribing to the FTN Network YouTube page, that's fantastic. But we need that screenshot with the number 1, 2, 3, or 4, your favorite T-shirt. It doesn't mean that's the one we're going to pick, but the most votes, we will pick that T-shirt. Screenshot that to us in a DM if you can on Twitter at Chris Meaney, at the Eric Young, or meanstreetsftn@gmail.com. Again, that's meanstreetsftn@gmail.com. A lot of people have already subscribed to this show before, and they've showed me that they have done this in the past. That counts too. Just let us know what shirt you like of the 4, and then we're going to pick one, and then we're going to have a follow-up with you guys as well, because we will need your address so we can ship these T-shirts off. So meanstreetsftn@gmail.com, at Chris Meaney, at the Eric Young, Twitter DMs if possible so we can see these. Screenshot that you were subscribed to Dangle Bet Selly and pick 1, 2, 3, or 4. Selly is 1, the 3 logos 2. The helmet, the goalie mask, which it's kind of starting to be my favorite. I love all these, but the goalie mask
it's my favorite.
And we're getting a lot of feedback. I think for me, I don't know how many of you've probably got more than I have, but I think 3 is probably in the lead when it comes to the DMs that I have received. And also a number 4 maybe here, DBC, Dangle Bet Selly. And with that, I do believe we're off. We just want to say hello to everybody. Diehard MMA podcast in the house. Good morning. We got Adam Rantcamp here. What's up, guys? Let's go. Sorry, EY, but it's Kyle Connor night. -500 that EY is going to call a Kyle Connor goal tonight. I'm pretty sure I will take that bet. And then we have Jason Prince in the house, Shot Prop King, and the Madman. Top of the morning, gentlemen. Let's get after. If you guys have any fantasy hockey questions at all, please leave them here. Always circling back on these videos, whether we get to them live or maybe you're just watching on Game Plus and you want to hop on over to our FTN Network YouTube page and ask a question, leave it in the comment section. It is week 16, Eric, of the fantasy hockey season. It's getting close, man. We're just a few weeks away until playoff time. So I wrote up some 4-game streams, attacking the schedule on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Sunday. Your Leafs are in a really good spot. The Islanders, the Panthers, the Blue Jackets, the Sabres. Victor Olofsson again scored last night. This guy's been red hot, and the Sabres are in action evening. And we will talk Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who has a 12-5-1 record, and he's won 11 of his last 14 games. So good stuff here. And Die Hard MMA podcast says minus 500 is pure value. Line is way too short. EY's calling that goal. Let's get after it. Let's start with probably the most lopsided affair of the evening. It's in Montreal between the Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. The Habs squeaked out a victory over the weekend against your Maple Leafs. I don't know what it is. The Leafs seem to struggle against weak opponents, and Montreal, one of those weak teams. I don't expect the Bruins to struggle here tonight. They enter with a 37-5-4 record. They already have 78 points. I mean, the Leafs are 29-11-8, and they're 12 points back of the Bruins, and the Bruins have 2 games in hand. Boston's won 5 straight. They've won 9 of their last 10. They are unbelievable. The Canadiens, 20-24-3. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They've allowed 171 goals this year, Eric. 171 goals is the second most in the Eastern Conference. You want to just take a stab on how many goals you think the Bruins have allowed this season? Just off the top of your head? 46
45?
No, they've allowed a few more than that. They've allowed 96. They're allowing 2 goals per game, basically. The Canadiens are allowing over 3.
Yeah, I just read a stat. Hallmark is the fastest goalie to 25 wins in NHL history. So this is like for a team that I thought that they would be competitive. I think most people thought that Boston would be competitive, but they're going to break records, right? Like this team is an all-timer with how the numbers are going right now, the performance, the level of play, the level of goaltending, the level of scoring. It's pretty wild, man. Like, I mean, even a diehard Boston fan would have never thought that it was going to be like this.
No. And there's talk too that, I don't know, they're going to add somebody. They always do, right? It's not like they even need anything.
They don't need
anything.
anything.
They'll add some depth. I'm sure they'll add some depth though, because once you go through 4 rounds, you're going to suffer some injuries, right? They're going to add some depth maybe to the bottom 6 or maybe to the blue line. And, there's some reports about Bo Horvat. I just don't understand it. But anyways, this Bruins team is absolutely cruising right now. Even taking Boston to the puck line, I think last night I got it minus 125, minus 130. It's kind of getting out of hand now. Opportunity maybe for some goals. I think, for me, the biggest value on the board is probably Patrice Bergeron, like for an assist. Plus 154 for Bergeron to get an assist tonight. I just feel like that top line is going to have a lot of success. They're probably going to get some power plays. I can see 4 or 5 goals here for Boston. Bergeron's got 2 assists in his last 4 games. He's got 3, 4, 5 assists over his last 9 hockey games. Like, he's got a point in every one of those games, but 20 assists on the season. We're not getting plus money for an assist for Marchand or for Pasternak. So David Krejci, Patrice Bergeron, I feel like these 2 guys are going to get apples, and Pasternak's probably on like 2-goal watch tonight.
Yeah, I would feel comfortable with that. I mean, the truth is the books, they see this too. I mean, sometimes with hockey, it doesn't catch up. I want to talk about something with that a little bit later in the show with one of the guys I got to score tonight. But I've got Pasternak minus 135 to score and Marchand at plus 125. I like that because they play on separate lines, line 1 and line 2, but they play on the power play together. And those are the guys that I think Josh Anderson has had a jump lately on the Montreal side. He's looked pretty decent. He's at plus 340 and Suzuki at 210. And I don't know where else. I mean, Doc has been good, but I just think Suzuki's going to take a hit. Kirby Doc is going to take a hit because they're not playing with Caulfield. I mean, it was already brutal for Montreal, as Chris knows. I'm not trying to rub salt in the wounds here, but losing Caulfield for the year, there's just almost no reason to watch these guys play hockey. It's
almost. It's really tough. It's really tough. I just hope that some of the younger players don't develop too many bad habits here, but it's really, really tough. Troy's in the house. Good morning. What do we got here? I bet the Bruins not to make the playoffs this year. Can you put me down for the worst bet of all time? It's funny. This isn't a shot at you, but I mean, I think we may have even said it on this show. You expect maybe a little bit of a decline, right? I mean, Marchand a little bit old. They started the season, the first month of the season, without Marchand and Charlie McAvoy.
Right.
Patrice Bergeron is a little bit older, and they didn't miss a beat at all. It's been
that was the huge thing, right? Like Bergeron signs a 1-year deal because of his age. David Krejci wasn't in the league, and he's an older guy, and you're wondering, is he going to be the kind of same player? Is he going to be able to keep up with an NHL pace after playing in the Czech Republic for a year? And you're wondering about that. And more importantly, I think probably one of their most important, if not their most important player, because he plays in all situations, Brad Marchand, wasn't supposed to play for the first 6 months. That's what we were being told. Him and McAvoy were going to miss almost half of the year. And then it seemed like 3 weeks in, they're both back on the ice playing. And dude, I mean, literally, like I don't, right now, you can't say enough good things about the Boston Bruins. And there's a pit in my stomach wearing this Maple Leafs jersey that no matter what happens against Tampa, because that's who Toronto's going to play in the first round, no matter what happens in that, they're going to have to play Boston. And I don't like their chances. I don't like anyone's chances.
No, you shouldn't. Nobody should, right? This team was absolutely rolling. Like, they're just 3 lines deep. Taylor Hall, Charlie McAvoy, third-line players. This is like, my goodness, must be nice. It's crazy. It's January 24th, and we already know Boston and Tampa Bay are going to play in the second round. It's unbelievable to me. Krejci's plus 160 for an assist, and Krejci is minus 120 for a point. That's a little dig there. That's my bad. It's a little maybe uncalled for. Adam Redcamp says he just feels like maybe it's crazy. With no Caulfield, Montreal has no choice but to play a defensive style game. And, as Caulfield was just an offensive master and they don't have that, it could be a slower pace. I could see that too, but this is just a team that's so inexperienced, even behind the bench, obviously with St. Louis, but the rookies that they have in their lineup, and now with no Caulfield and some of their veterans that are out of their lineup as well, some of their better defensive forwards that you wouldn't even really think about, like Jake Evans is a decent defensive forward, kills some penalties for them. He's not really there with the squad. Gallagher's not there. Yeah, it's just up and down their lineup. They just have so many holes. They take a lot of penalties. It's just, they're in a really, 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 really tough spot. I like the Anderson call. I mean, he's got 3 goals. He's got goals in 3 straight games. He's got 10 shots over his last 2. He's plus money for 3, but it is a really tough spot against a Bruins team that doesn't give up much. And I don't know where to go here for shot props, guys. I mean, Pasternak hasn't really been shooting, but anytime I see past at plus money, even if it is 4.5 shots, that's probably my guy, him and maybe Marchand. But the Canadians overall, they've given up the 3rd most shot attempts and the 4th most shots at 5 and 5 per 60 since December 1st. So they're really, really giving it up. And now they're playing a team that just, shots galore all the time. So Pasta, Marchand 2.5, 4.5, but I'm here for the Krejci point. Bergeron assist plus 154, Krejci plus 160 assists. I think that Pasta scores a goal tonight. I think that Pavel Zacha is probably like a decent long shot potentially for a goal, just playing on that second line.
He's playing really well.
He has, and he's got himself a new contract too. His shooting percentage is pretty high. Like, he could come down to earth a little bit, but you know what? When you play with a guy like Krejci and Pasternak, man, you just got to get opportunities to put the puck in the net. That's kind of what's happening here with him. Let's jump around here and go to your Nashville Predators. We get the Preds and the Winnipeg Jets, right? This is a game here where Kyle Connor is on the board, and of course, we like Kyle Connor a lot on this show. The Preds are at home at plus 102, Winnipeg checking in at minus 115. A total here at 5.5, 6 in some spots. I've really been impressed with the Winnipeg top 6 over the last couple of weeks. What we had in the bet tracker on Sunday was Bet365, a same game parlay with Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers, and Blake Wheeler all to get a point. Wheeler picked up an assist. He's got 4 points in his last 2 games. Ehlers picked up an assist. He's got 4 points in his last 2 games, had at least 4 shots in 3 straight. And Mark Scheifele had a big game. He scored a goal and had 3 shots. He has 5 points in his last 3 games. That line is really cooking. And Connor is also playing really good, right? 3 goals in his last 4 games. Yep. He's got 14, 20, 23 shots over his last 4 games. And then our guy, Pierre-Luc Dubois, he has at least 3 shots in 3 straight. And he has at least 3 shots in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of his last 10 games. Now, he hasn't been as productive lately in terms of getting points, just 1 point over his last 4. But I think the Preds are in trouble tonight, man. They give up a lot of rubber, give up a lot of shots, and this Winnipeg top 6 is pretty deadly at the moment, dude. How do you feel about this contest?
Yeah, I think Winnipeg is another team that, I think the entire NHL and people that cover them are not talking about it enough. I don't know what it is like in Canada because they are a Canadian team. So they probably get better coverage there. But here, it's just like, dude, the Winnipeg Jets are one of the best and strongest teams in the league. And they just got Ehlers back, who is one of their best players. So, the rich get richer. Of course, I've got Connor to score. You're giving me plus odds for him. I love watching him play. He's just so tricky with the puck. Such a good skater, an electric player. Just whenever he has the puck on his stick, you feel like something's going to happen, and it often does. And I got Ehlers to score at plus 180, playing really good hockey. Coming off that injury, a little slow to get started first couple games. I don't think he was Nikolai Ehlers, but he's shooting the puck now, skating really well, and has really fit back in and given a huge boost to Winnipeg. Just, of course they needed it. They were already one of the best teams in the league. And then on the Nashville side, Forsberg at plus 150. Offensively, it flows through him. The scoring goes up and down this lineup, and everybody plays, and the lineups get mismatched. But Forsberg is always going to play in that top 6 and top power play. And I really like the way Ryan Johansson has played in the last little while. I do wish he would shoot the puck more. The proof is in the pudding. When he shoots the puck, he looks like a shooter, right? If you can remember back to the year that he was in Columbus, he was a shooter, had 40 goals or whatever it was, and he was just really, really good with the puck. He defers, he chooses to pass first, but big body, playing on the top power play, winning a ton of faceoffs. If you have a category there, the Preds are a really good team to mine for faceoff wins. Him, Colton Sissons, even Cody Glass are doing very, very well on the dot. So that's a way to pick up extra points. But yeah, those are the guys that I like to score tonight. Preds are in tough, man. Winnipeg is a good team.
Good team.
Any night Saros starts, they can win. But they've been a very inconsistent team, the Nashville Predators. If the good Nashville Predators show up tonight, it'll be a great game. And if they don't, then Winnipeg could win by 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, I got the Jets tonight. I like Winnipeg here. I put them in last night. I think maybe minus 115, which we saw on the board. I think that they'll win the game. I kind of have maybe a slight lean to the over too. I don't know. I know 2 goalies, and Saros been playing pretty good, and also Connor Hellebuck's been playing pretty good as well. But there's some shooters in this game tonight. 5.5 seems a little low, but there's actually a lot I like. Hammerhead Union says Winnipeg is a dark horse. Yeah, we agree with you. I think we gave them on the show maybe 9-1 to win the division when the Avs,
that is the thing, right?
Bodies, right?
Like, people are saying they're a dark horse, but they're not a dark horse if you're paying attention.
Yeah, maybe they're.
But I think the majority would say
Stanley Cup contender though.
They're first place in the Central, which is a super difficult division.
Yeah.
And what do we say? What do you need? Goaltending. And Hellebuck is one of the best goalies in the league right now. Last year, he was brutal, right? He was brutal for most of the. You're like, is Hellebuck done? Is he cooked? But he's been great. Obviously, the new coach has got the defense activating. Josh Morrissey is having a Norris-worthy season, and they've got.
He is.
Their top 6 is as good as any team in the league. So I think they're considered a dark horse, like Hammerhead Union said, but they shouldn't be. They should be considered one of the top 5 teams in the league, just like they are.
I definitely think, all the teams in the West, right? I think that they have proven themselves that they're going to be they're going to be a tough out. Troy Nork in the house. I think Ehlers for a point is a great play. Great parlay piece. He's chalky, but there's still so much room there for value. Yeah, I mean, I actually have quite a bit. I mean, we're 2 games in, and I already have my sheet is like half full here. Like, I really do like the Jets. I just think there's so much value with this Winnipeg team lately. Even Blake Wheeler. Like, Blake Wheeler shouldn't be plus 172 for an assist. As hot as Ehlers has been since he's returned to the lineup, and Mark Scheifele is cooking right now as well. I mean, Wheeler is an assist machine, really. Plus 172 for an assist. Ehlers plus 135 for an assist. Same game parlay, Bet365. Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, and Ehlers plus 350. And that's one that I'll have in the tracker. That's one that I will bet as a single. Probably put a full unit on that one. And then Connor and Pierre-Luc Dubois. If you just want those two, PLD and Connor for a point over at 365, that pays plus 100, even money over there. So yeah, there's a lot to like in this game. I like Connor and Ehlers shots. I like Ehlers more than Connor. I like Forsberg as well, a little bit juiced up. If you can find 2.5, away you go. Let's see. There's a lot of chatter here with this game here tonight. Let's see what Diehard MMA is saying here. 3 of the last 4 have gone over. Last game was 2-1. Kind of feel like they get back to scoring tonight. If you're talking about Winnipeg, I do believe that's where I lean as well. We got Connor Glass for a point tonight, like the call. Connor over on the saves. I think he may mean shots. And Robert in the house, Bergeron, Marchand, passes, shots on goal. Any of those you think are locks? I mean, it's tough to call a lock in the NHL. I would say Pasta 4.5. Just the Canadians have allowed the third most shot attempts over the last 6 weeks. I'd say Pasta and then Marchand 2.5. I feel a little bit better maybe about Pasta plus 146 for 2 points. Maybe Bergeron plus 154 for an assist. Krejci and Pasta are also plus money for an assist. Krejci is just basically even money for a point. It's kind of the way that I lean there. He was thinking Pasta to score a goal, but not sure. Yeah, Robert, if you're going to pick anybody in that game to score a goal, it should be David Pastrnak, right? There's no question. I mean, the guy's an elite goal scorer, and he's in a fantastic spot here tonight. Let's keep things going. Philadelphia and the Kings. We have the Flyers at home plus 118 over at Bet Rivers. Prop Shop Parlay Calculator, your friend. Both tools are free over at ftnbets.com. Links inside the description of this video. Get the best possible odds. You don't got to go surfing around. We have the Kings checking in at minus 130. Kevin Hayes, man. Kevin Hayes and Travis Konechny. I've been putting these guys into parlays now. They're both pretty juiced, but every single night they're getting shots, and I have no problem putting them into like a maybe 2-leg parlay, 3-leg parlay. I would probably go Hayes first, then Konechny. And Adrian Kempe is back to shooting like we all love. So those are my 3 shot prop guys, and I'm sure you got some goal scorers there for you as well. My dog is freaking out. You take it away for a second.
Yeah, I got Travis Konechny, of course. I mean, he's having an absolute career year. It's great to see. He's at plus 125, so I like that. And Hayes has been good, like you said. But I'm leaning Owen Tippett here. He's playing on the second line and it looks like they're asking him to be the shooter on that top power play, which, is something that he did in junior. Obviously a highly thought of player. The worry is it's John Tortorella and he's young, and you worry about that. But he's playing the minutes. Like he's playing farther up the lineup than Kevin Hayes is, and making a fraction of the money. So that's John Tortorella. On the LA side, Fiala at plus 160. He's been good all year, and he's been feeling it the last couple of weeks. And when he's feeling it, I'm all in. And like you said, Kempe is back to shooting, and he's at plus 175. I feel like his dip in production comes from when he's not shooting, but he's been shooting. So when he's shooting, it's going to go. And at plus 175, I love that.
Yeah, I like Kempe quite a bit. Actually, those shot props are not as juiced as I thought. Maybe I was looking at a different book earlier this morning. Kempe's minus 137 over at Caesars, minus 143 at Bet Rivers. I like Kempe to score tonight. He's minus 122 for a point as well. So I'll put that one on the board. There's some really good value here today. I'd put Kempe guys maybe into like that Troy into that parlay with maybe Ehlers or something like that. You can Bergeron too, like Bergeron point, Ehlers, Kempe. Like we're off to, I think, a pretty good start here. And Kevin Hayes, Also, not as juiced as I thought. I saw Bet365 this morning around -150, -123 for Kevin Hayes. Union Head says he likes Frost for overshots and Frost for some points, right? Some of these Flyers players have actually played pretty good lately. I think we've talked enough about Scott Lawton and Konechny and Kevin Hayes. Like, these guys have been pretty good, but Morgan Frost, who I had in our Fantrax salary cap dynasty league, I think I cut him. I don't know. I was just like, wasn't super thrilled with the production, and maybe I should have hung on to him a little bit because he does have like some upside. Nice little player. I liked him a lot at World Juniors a few years ago. He does have points in 3 of his last 4, but he's not really shooting. Like, back-to-back games is just 1 shot. He had 5 against the Blackhawks and he had 3 against the Ducks, and those are teams that give up a lot of rubber. This isn't the best spot, right? The Kings are a pretty decent 5-5 squad, but I do like Kempe. Let's move on. Florida and Pittsburgh here. We have -140 for the Penguins, and we have +125 for the Panthers. Last night we saw a victory by the Rangers. We had over in FTN Daily, we had that top line. And Chris Carter didn't do anything, unfortunately. But we did have Mika Zibanejad, and we had Panarin. Panarin had 3 helpers, I believe. Mika Zibanejad had 2 goals. Adam Fox had a big game. Lafreniere scored a goal. And they've mixed up their lines just a little bit in New York. Rangers are obviously not in action, but something to keep in mind moving forward. But this Panthers team, man, just like inconsistent. Now they're not getting the goaltending. Like, who starts tonight? I assume Spencer Knight is back up. Like, I know he was down for a conditioning stint. Last night they went with Lyon. Yeah, I don't know, man. I like goals tonight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I think
Knight is projected, but man, this has been a weird year. Like, you got to really check back at around 4:30 to find out, when it'll be more of a set thing. Florida's, they're weird, man. I mean, like, you knew that it was going to be different because, no Uyghur, no Huberdeau, but Kachuk has not been the problem. He's been awesome.
He's been great.
I mean, better than I even thought he was going to be. I mean, he's one of my favorite players in the league to watch because he does everything. And he's a pain in the ass, which is fun to watch.
Yes.
But they've been real weird. But I mean, still, they're loaded with good players. Barkov at +170 and Kachuk are my goal scorers. And on the Pittsburgh side, I'm going Crosby and I'm going Zucker at 240. He's been real hot. And it feels like he's like fully healthy, if that makes sense. Like, he just kind of has always been banged up since going over to Pittsburgh, and a guy that can really skate, really get in on the forecheck. I thought he was a perfect player for them, for that team, and exactly what they needed at the time. But he's never really fulfilled what I think they thought they were getting or what I thought he was going to be in Pittsburgh. And it seems like it's starting to become that. Like, Zucker's been really good the last 2 or 3 weeks and is going unnoticed, which is why he's at +240 to score, I think.
I like Malkin tonight. Malkin gets into these grooves, and I think he's in one right now. He leads the Penguins in shots with 27 over the last 2 weeks. He doesn't have any points over his last 2 games, but he had a 3-point night against Ottawa where he had a goal and 2 assists. And then the game before that, he had a 2-point night where he had a goal and 5 shots. He's been shooting quite a bit, at least 3 shots in 3 or 4 of his past 5. He's a little bit juiced for 3 shots tonight, but I do like him into a parlay. Some massive shot games here from him. 6 against Vancouver, 7 against Carolina, a team that really doesn't give up a whole lot. 5 against the Ducks, 4 against the Sens, and then the second half of the back-to-back, he had 3 against the Sens, and then just the 1 there against the Devils. But yeah, him, and I like the Zucker call. I can't really get a feel on Gensel, man. I feel like he's been slightly disappointing. And he hasn't, because maybe expectations are just too high. Like, he's got 20 goals on the season. He's got 4 goals over his last 4 games. And every time I start to feel him, I see his shot prop at 2.5, and I'm just like, wow, like, really 2.5 at a good price? Like, I'll jump on this. And then he has no shots. Like, he had 0 shots against the Devils. Anyways, I like Malkin to score a goal. I like Malkin to have 3 shots. And I think, some value on the squad, maybe Brian Rust for an assist. Rust for an assist at +172 tonight. Man, him and Wheeler both at +172 for an assist. It just shouldn't be that way. Rust, just playing with Crosby and Gensel, you like Crosby to score. Gensel's a threat to score every single night. It's not like Rust is a big assist machine, but maybe he can fall into one tonight against just a bad Florida team, right? They're just giving up a lot. They just don't have the goaltending right now, second half of a back-to-back. Adam Rankamp says Jake Gensel everything tonight. Yeah, I mean, don't hate it, right? Don't hate it. I'm going to lean with Malkin. I like the Gensel call. I could see him scoring tonight. You're on Crosby, Zucker. Union heads on Kachuk goal. Love Zucker. A couple claps there for the Zucker call. And Malkin 2 points. Malkin, I don't see him anywhere for 2 points, but you'd get probably pretty good odds there. He's really juiced to get 1 point here. Adam says, just jumped back on Bennett. Might be out, which is huge for Florida. Love the over tonight. Bennett's been really shooting. He burned me the other day because he left the game halfway through, and now I don't know. Like I think he left again last night as well. But I do like some offense. One guy I wanted to give a little bit of love to actually before we move on from this game is Anton Lundell. We've talked about it before. When Florida was dealing with some injuries, especially when Barkov was out, we saw him jump up to a significant role. He's been playing with Barkov on that first line for a little bit. He's got points in 4 straight games. He has 3 goals over that span, and he's actually been shooting. I looked for his shot prop the other day. I couldn't find it. Let me just see if I can find if there's something for him. I doubt it. Plus 200 for an assist and plus 104 for a point. I'm going to have to put him on the board. Man, there's way too much to like, EY. But plus 104 in a game where I think there's going to be at least 7 goals.
Oh, wow.
And Lundell's got points. I'm taking the over 6.5. And Lundell's got points in 4 straight games. He's got 3 goals over that span. And he has at least 2 shots in 9 straight games. So, I don't know, man. He's all over the net. Barkov's a good player. Verhaeghe's, they got a good top 6.
Yep.
Don't love their defense. Don't like their goaltending.
It's not their offensive players, right? Like
they score.
They're loaded, but they can't keep high danger chances to the outside, and they can't get a save. $10 million for Bobrovsky, and you rather start Spencer Knight, which is insane. Here we are. Good luck, Florida.
Poor guys. Minnesota and Tampa. The Bolts are minus 154. The Wild are checking in here at plus 138. What you got for us over there? I'll let you kick it off.
The Tampa side, I got Kucherov and Stamkos. Kucherov is plus 140. I know that he's not a shooter, but I mean, he still scores a ton. He plays a ton of minutes. He's their best player, maybe arguably their best player. And Stamkos has been great all year, man. It's so cool to see breaking records. I think it was, who was it? Somebody on Sportsnet said, and I thought it was a great point, saying if he wouldn't have had the weird thing with the broken leg and the blood thing and all the other stuff that he's had and all the injuries, that we might be talking about Stamkos chasing this Gretzky scoring record as well.
Yeah, maybe he definitely had a few significant injuries.
I mean, very significant. Like ones that we thought, like maybe he doesn't play again, right? Like, and he's come back.
He broke his leg.
Yeah. I mean, it's been wild, and I don't know if that's true, but I thought it was a really good point. And I think about a player that, when he's gone, I think we'll talk about him even more than we do now. But yeah, I like those 2 guys. And on the Minnesota side, Kaprizov, you're giving me plus odds for him. I'm doing it every time, plus 140. And this is the point I wanted to make earlier: is in the NHL, I just feel like, it's the least popular sport of the big 4. Which is stupid, but that's the way it is, especially in the United States. And these sports books and people that are setting the lines, they don't spend the money on enough personnel and people to keep up with the trends. Matt Boldy just got paid. Matt Boldy plays on the second line, and Matt Boldy plays on the top power play. And DraftKings has given us at plus 330. That's insane.
That is
a player like him should never have those kind of odds. And if you don't bet on him to score tonight, I think you're a fool.
He does lead the Wild in shots over the last 2 weeks with 21. He's actually been pretty good to us in the shot prop game. He's cleared 2.5 shots in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of his last 9 games. And 6 of those games, he's had at least 4 shots. He's got goals in back-to-back games. Yeah, you're right. He's playing a lot. He's playing heavy minutes, getting an opportunity on that power play. And what was
2 kind of players,
for
right?
him. He's
some guys get paid and they take their foot off the gas. And some guys get paid and they say, I'm going to show them that I'm worth it. And he's been the latter. And look, if you don't want to bet on Matt Boldy to score, I don't blame you. It's all of this is a fool's
Just
errand,
because
to be
it's
honest.
Tampa. Yeah.
You know, and because it's Tampa. But what I'm saying is a player of his skill, where he plays, the minute he plays, and how he's been playing over the course of the last 2 weeks at plus 330. If you're going to bet on somebody to score, it better be him.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a board here for Florida and Pittsburgh. My bad. My Fox puts
No
in
worries.
some hard work here. Look at that. So we had Barkov on the board, some old school Florida Panther logo there. I love that cat. I love your jersey that you had the other day too. And Melkin, my guy, Melkin. Pittsburgh in the over, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, like the call. Boldy's a little bit juiced for the shots. Tougher matchup. I don't mind it into a parlay. Not one of my favorites because it is Tampa on the road, but he has been shooting, guys. He's been playing with a lot of confidence lately, and Point as well. Another guy that's not as juiced as lately. I mean, DraftKings got him at minus 165, but the prop shop showing Bet Rivers at minus 134. I can get behind the minus 134. I'm not getting involved with the minus 165 or 52 into a parlay. While they're pretty stingy at times at 5-5. In here next, we got, let's go to Vancouver. Let's go to Vancouver, minus 215 for the Canucks, 6.5 total, Blackhawks plus 195. So Bruce Boudreau is out. He's done, treated unfairly, was pretty emotional last week when he was asked about his future. It was tough to watch. Really good coach. I agree probably with mostly everybody that's talked about how he's been treated. The Canucks are a tire fire, man. This organization, like, it's just they went to the finals a few years ago, 2011 against the Bruins. You know, ever since Sedin's left, they just haven't been able to really find their footing. They got good players. They've had good players for as long as I can remember, man. Like Bure back in the day. I went to Bure one of his rookie games in Vancouver when I was a young buck. They played the Leafs. Leafs won 9-2. Wendell Clark had a hat trick in a fight. Gilmore had like a 5-point night. It was a heck of a game by the Leafs, but Bure was young. Trevor Linden was there with that organization. Marcus Naslin, Brendan Morrison, Bertuzzi. They've had great players. Luongo, the Sedins, and they still are loaded with good players too. But Boudreau is out. Yeah, and Rick Tocchet is in. I think
you mean Bruce Boudreau
to do with it. Oh yeah, Bruce Boudreau and the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks. Oof. And Rick, what did he call him?
Tocchet.
If anybody's, I don't know if anybody's seen, everyone's been like, what the hell are you guys talking about? I will tweet it out later. It was from Fox Sports, or not Fox Sports, just Fox News. And what are you going to do, right? I'm not taking too many shots at Americans, but clearly Americans. And they made Canucks sound more Canadian than actual Canadians would sound when they say Canucks. But the Canucks are in action tonight with Rick Tocchet as their head coach behind the bench. Usually you see like a boost when there's a coaching change. You could go across all sports. You see it.
Yep.
I'm not going to lay this kind of juice with the Canucks at minus 215 to win a hockey game. I don't care if they're playing my beer league squad. So tread with caution. But I would say like Horvat and Elias Pettersson, JT Miller, like these guys are in pretty good spots maybe to find the back of the net tonight. You got any goal scorers over there?
Yeah, I do. Vancouver, Horvat plus 110, JT Miller plus 145. And on the Chicago side, Patrick Kane plus 210, which seems wild. Like, I know that he's not a shooter, but man, he's by far their best player. And Max Domi having a career year at plus 310. I will not watch this game. And that's saying a lot. I will not.
I bet you. What do you think the odds are that you're going to hear?
I might flip over late at night if there's nothing on. I might.
You're going to hear the fans say, "Bruce, here it is" in the game.
100%.
Like, yeah, there may be like some awkwardness with.
It sucks, right? Because Rick Tocchet, I think, could be a good coach. And I think because of how it was handled at the end, he's going to be looked at as the enemy, and he had nothing to do with it, right? Like he had nothing to do with it. So that will go away in time, right? It will. But man, Bruce Boudreau is one of the most loved coaches, personalities, people in the NHL, and they did him dirty, man. I mean, real dirty. And he loves pro wrestling. So
that's right. Yeah, maybe we'll have to try to get him on the show. Now he's got
that
some
would
free
be
time.
amazing.
Who knows? That would be pretty good. Let's see. I don't even know how their lines are going to shape up tonight. They may do something just silly, right? Pedersen,
Yeah.
Kuzmenko, like that's a trio. That's a duo that I would maybe attack in DFS. Like Pedersen's just been so good shooting the puck. Like he's minus 154 for an assist, and they're just really banking on him to hit the score sheet tonight, Vegas. And I would agree with that. And then maybe like Bo Horvat and Brock Besser. Like those are the two duos I would probably lean with. Maybe Seth Jones for a shot, but I'm gonna move on from this game. San Jose and Detroit. I don't actually have a whole lot. I think if we're looking for a dog, I don't mind actually the Sharks here at plus 130. Timo Meyer and Thomas Hertl, like those are the two guys really for me. Anytime I want to like lean on the Sharks, if I feel like they're going to win on the road at plus money, or if I want to take them as dogs at home, then I'm also going to get involved with them maybe to score, because if they're going to win, they're going to have offense from those two guys. Hertl is plus 125 for 3 shots. I think that's a decent long shot. And he is over at FanDuel plus 280 to score. That's kind of my guy. And if you don't like Hertl, I think Timo Meyer on the other side. But I don't know. I've kind of feeling San Jose tonight. Am I wrong to think that? Detroit just doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah, they've been, up and down, which is, I think, where a lot of people, including us, thought what they would be.
Sure.
Timo Meyer plus 135. And I'm going back to Barabanov, playing on the second line and playing on the top power play for San Jose. At plus 340, that's another guy that I got, circled here as a good bet. Not that he's for sure going to score, but it's a good way to win some money if he does. And because of the minutes he's playing and the players he's playing with, I really like that. They obviously trust him, right? He's been playing on that second line and that top power play for most of the season. So I like him. And I got Larkin and Kopp on the Detroit side. Kopp is kind of taking over Perron's spot on the top power play. I like Kopp as a player. I don't know about as a power play player. I probably would have Perron, but that's the way they see it. And he's playing on the top power play. So that's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say they're trying to get him going, man. Like Kopp has had a very to me, he's been extremely disappointing.
Invisible.
He's got 4 goals.
I mean,
4
invisible,
goals
yeah.
this season. Yeah. I mean, he's playing like 19, 20 minutes a night. I mean, the guy's getting like an opportunity here, which he really didn't get most times. But Hammerhead Union says Larkin over shots. I mean, I don't mind that one. He's around minus 143. He's hit once in his last 4 games, but it is a better matchup against San Jose to kind of get going there. Carlson for an assist all the time. I love the call. We are big on Eric Carlson here on the show. We have a 28-1 future on him to win the Norris. And in my opinion, he should get it. Josh Norris's right there as well. I call him Norrisy. It is Morrissey. But I think he's right there as well. And I don't believe that Kyle McCarr should be favored. I just don't. I think he's a really good defenseman, but I don't think he's having a Norris candidate season. Wallman actually leads the team in shots over the last 2 weeks.
Wild, right?
Playing a little DFS. Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty good, man. He's getting like 3 or 4 shots here and there, hitting the score sheet. He's been a nice surprise for the Red Wings. Let's see. We're kind of wrapping up here in time over at Game Plus. We do have 2 more boards to show you guys. So let's try to get through these ones. Vegas and New Jersey have the Golden Knights plus 150 for Vegas on the road, and the Devils minus 165. The Battle of Jacks, Hughes versus Eichel here tonight. Vegas is another team, right? I mean, you look up, all of a sudden, there's no Shea Theodore in their lineup. There's no Mark Stone in their lineup. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. So only 2 wins since January 5th. They had won 3 straight and looked like they were going to get going again, but the goals have kind of dried up. Eichel's been very, very quiet. He has 1 point over his last 5 games. He's been held under 3 shots in 4 of those 5 games. He did have 5 shots in his last game, but it did come against Arizona. Usually I'm on board with picking the Golden Knights as like dogs here. I feel like they're still a really good squad. They got enough firepower, I think, offensively, to get it done. I don't know if I can really field them tonight, even at plus 150. I may take a stab, but they've been pretty inconsistent of late, Eric. What do you got over there?
Super inconsistent. I think, I got Eichel to score. Like you said, the Jacks, I got them both to score tonight, Jack Hughes and Eichel. Eichel's got to step up, right? I mean, like, you're being paid like you're a top player. You you said, you got the surgery, went over, held out, moved over, got the surgery you wanted. I don't think it has anything to do with health. I just think there's something else going on. Jack Eichel is not the player that we all thought he would be. Jack Eichel is not the player that the Vegas Golden Knights thought he was going to be. Jack Eichel is probably not the player that he thinks he is. And he's got to step up. Those guys are down, but injuries happen. And this team needs him to be the star that he's being paid to be. And he's not. He's not been a good hockey player. I'm still betting on him to score tonight because he just, the skill is there. It's been very inconsistent. So I got him, and I got Riley Smith, who's been Riley Smith all year, right? He's been very consistent, not talked about enough. Back with Carlson and Marshall, that line has been unreal whenever they play together. So I like him. And on the New Jersey side, I like Jesper Bratt as well, a guy that I've always liked and is having a real good season for New Jersey.
Yeah, he is. I like Hughes and Eichel as well to score. Hughes is plus 140 for 5 shots. You don't really see plus 140 too often. It's hard to ignore that. Plus 140 for 5 shots. Interesting. I may take a stab here on Vegas. They're just too good of a team to lay plus 150 to me, in my opinion. I know that they're struggling, but on the road, I'm gonna take a shot on that. Adam Rankamp says Vegas is good on the road. He must be feeling Vegas as well. He says Nico Hischier, but I'm looking at the draw. New Jersey, bad home team. Vegas are really good. I think he means really good on the road there. Yeah, he does. Rasmus Dahlin is your Norris guy right now. He definitely deserves some love. No question.
He's in there for sure.
No question. Okay, one more, and then we're gonna say goodbye to Game Plus. We got like another minute or so here.
Yeah, let's go quick.
Let's do quick. Let's go Buffalo and St. Louis. What do you got over there? You got some goal scorers here. We got Tage making his return to St. Louis tonight. Oh baby.
Oh yeah, yep. Tage and plus 100. I mean, yes, please. Dylan Cousins again. I know, like I've been on this guy for a while, but he's starting to score now. Unbelievable overtime goal. Crazy pass from Rasmus Dahlin a couple of days ago. Dylan Cousins at 275. He's centering the power play, guys. I mean, don't sleep on Dylan Cousins. And I got Jordan Kyrou at plus 160 and Braden Shen at 225.
I got Tage as well, and I know he hasn't been shooting as much lately, and I do buy the revenge narrative here tonight. I really do. This is a guy who's thrown in the Ryan O'Reilly deal. He's going back to St. Louis here tonight. 3.5, actually a decent price for him, but I do like him to find the back of the net. Alex Tuch burned us last night. He was stuck on 2, but I am going to lean with an Alex Tuch goal as well, and I'm taking the over on his 2.5 shots. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, guys, 12-5-1 record on the season. He's won 11 of his last 14 games, playing really, really good, pretty sneaky in there as well. And I think there's value on, there's been value all year on Tuch assists, and that's a guy that I really like as well. We are going to say goodbye right now to Game Plus Network. Hop on over for the rest of the show, FTN Network YouTube page, and we will call some goals and some shot props. We got 2 more games to dive into as well. So make sure you get your bets, your t-shirt pick in, and send that screenshot over to meanstreets@ftngmail.com. All right, Eric, 2 more games here, and then we'll wrap up. We got Anaheim and Arizona and Washington and Colorado. Let's group those together. You go ahead and let me know what you think. Start with Anaheim and Arizona. Trevor Zegras, man, like that's the guy for me. Terry's been kind of quiet lately, but Zegras is making noise every single night.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, man. Zegras at plus 185. He's making noise every night. And I think Terry jumps back on tonight. A great goal scorer and just has had been kind of snake bit in the last couple of weeks. But I like him to bounce back against Arizona here tonight at plus 130. On the Arizona side, the usual suspects for me, Keller and Krause.
Your boy, Krause. Love it.
My boy, Krause.
I love
Dude,
it.
I love him as a player. Please be traded. Please be traded to a team that I like. Sorry, Clint.
He's an underrated squad. Okay, final one. Washington and Colorado. The Avs are starting to cook, right? The Avs are, we talked about them. They had the second lowest scoring percentage, shooting percentage of 5-5 per 60 this season. Now they're starting to get some of their healthy bodies back, and I've been just taking them. Like, they've just been really good value. They've won 5 straight hockey games, 7-0, 6-3, 4-1, 4-1, 2-1. Kel McCarr's been out of the lineup for a couple of those games. Nathan McKinnon, 4.5 shots. It's my favorite of the board. I don't even care. Minus 130, minus 140. It's actually not. I think it's maybe minus 135 here. Nathan McKinnon, minus 128 over at Caesars, minus 150 is the most I see juiced over at Bet Rivers. Guy's got 17 shots in his last 2 games, guys. 17 shots in his last 2 games. He had 11 shots the other night against the Oilers. So Nathan McKinnon, I like McKinnon for shots. I like Evan Rodriguez for a goal tonight, and I like him for shots as well. And I'm going to go with Valery Nichushkin for shots and for a goal. Nichushkin has had at least 4 shots in 3 of his last 4 games since his return to the lineup. I think Colorado wins this game, and I think they, I think they probably win it like 4-1 or something.
Yeah, I got obviously Ovi. I mean, when he plays, I bet on him to score. I got McKinnon. I got my boy Nichushkin, a guy that I've loved since he was playing in Dallas. The reason I loved him in Dallas because I saw the video of him doing cleans in the hallway after a game, and I just fell in love with, because that's a crazy thing to do, and it's awesome. And also on the Washington side, I'm going to go with Tom Wilson. I don't know. He's jumped off the screen to me, man. I like him as a player. He's fun to watch, and he's at plus 310. So I like him to score tonight too.
The Dylan Guenther call. Yeah, he had a goal the other night. I mean, he's got 3 goals here over his past 8 or 9 games. Adam Rankamp with the Guenther goal in there. A little Canadian boy. Tarasenko back tonight, I do believe. I like the Pietrangelo call. Yeah, he's been shooting quite a bit. Anytime like him or Shea Theodore are out of the lineup, one of the two usually kind of step up, right? And they get going here again. Orlov again. Great call from you, Adam. I don't know. Did he actually score? I think, they gave it to him first, and then they ended up giving it to Tom Wilson. Remember the Orlov call he had? I wrote him in the Discord. I was like, wow, Orlov really scored. And then we laughed about it, and we said it was a good call. And then I think it was changed to Wilson at the end, but it was a good call, and he was like you said. I mean, he's been shooting, and he shot a lot in that game as well. So, got to get out of here, and we'll kick it to you and for some goal scorers to wrap us up.
All right,
recap:
Pasternak, Marchand, Anderson, Suzuki, Kaprizov, Boldy, Kucherov, Stamkos, Meyer, Barabanov, Larkin, Kopp, Barkov, Kachuk, Crosby, Zucker, Fiala, Kempe, Konechny, Tippett, Hughes, Bratt, Eichel, Smith, Thompson, Cousins, Kyrou, Shen, Connor, Ehlers, Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, Zegras, Terry, Keller, Krause, Domi, Kane, Horvat, Miller, Ovi, Nichushkin, McKinnon, Wilson, and my 8-way Maniac. I'm going to get one of these to go. I'm telling you.
You're going to get it tonight.
I'm telling you. I got Pasta, Marchand. I don't do the same game very often, but tonight's the night. Sorry, Montreal. Kachuk, Kaprizov, Stamkos, Huge, Thompson, and Forsberg.
Nice. Love it. I don't know what I have to add. Let's see. What do I got on my list? I actually do have some stuff here. I got Pasternak to score a goal. I got Pavel Zacha as my long shot in there. I got, let's see, in the LA game, Adrian Kempe, and I got Kevin Hayes. For Pittsburgh, I got Malkin. I do like Gensel as well. I'm going to shy away from Minnesota Tampa. I kind of feel like the under there, but, if I was to pick somebody, it would be Braden Point for me and Matt Boldy. San Jose, I like Thomas Hertl for the Golden Knights. And New Jersey, I like both Jax Hughes and Eichel in there. I like Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers. I like Tuck and Tage Thompson. I like Jordan Kyrou on the other side. I think we could kind of see some goals from Arizona and Anaheim, but I like Zegras there is one I do feel probably most comfortable, inside that game. Colorado, there's a lot that I like. I like McKinnon just because he's shooting so much, and Nichushkin as well. And then Vancouver, I would go with Elias Pettersson and maybe Brock Besser. And, assists, I think there's a lot of value. Bergeron plus 154, Krejci plus 160, passes plus 110 for an assist, Ehlers plus 135, Wheeler plus 172, Russ plus 172 for points, Krejci minus 120, Passa plus 146 for 2 points, Wheeler minus 106, Kempe minus 121, Lindell's plus 104. For shots, man, there's a lot here. I'll try to narrow it down. Nathan McKinnon, Tuck and Tage. I like Kyle Connor, Nikolai Ehlers. I like Forsberg. I like Kevin Hayes. I like Kempe and Konechny. I like Malkin. I like Pasta and Marchand. I also have like some smaller unit plays down here, like maybe Hughes at plus 140, even though it's 5 shots. It's just like plus 140. You kidding me? And then I got Point and Boldy in here as smaller ones. Same game parlays, the Winnipeg line, Ehlers, Scheifele, Wheelers as plus 350. Pierre-Luc Dubois and Connor plus 100. Crosby and Gensel minus 105. Malkin, Zucker, and Raquel plus 300. The same game parlays have been very successful from a point standpoint. Boston on the puck line, Jets over between Florida and Pittsburgh in 60. Tampa Bay, San Jose upset, Vegas upset. I like the Sabres and the over. I like Colorado. And with that, we are out of here. Let's go. Oh, Pietrangelo shots just for you, Hammerhead Union.
I don't have much to add, he says, as he goes
off. I don't have much to add. 10 minutes later. We're out of here.
Let's go.
Enjoy the hockey tonight, and we will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.